Hi everyone, today I'll be sharing with you all how I make these delicious Nigerian deep fried meat pies. It is not only crunchy on the outside but also really moist on the inside and chewy. So guys, without wasting time, let me show you how I make this. First, I sift my flour together with some baking powder into a bowl so that I'll get rid of any unwanted particles in my flour. Next, I'm going to add in some margarine or butter into it. If you're going to be making fried meat pies, you want to use less margarine because you are deep frying. But if you are baking, you want to use enough butter because you are baking, hence you don't want it to be too dry. Next, you want to add in some room temperature water and mix till a dough is formed. Once my dough is formed, I'm going to place this in the fridge and use it whenever I want to. For the filling, I'm going to add in 1 cooking spoon of oil to a pot. Then I'm going to add in some chopped up onion. Then I'll saute for about 10 seconds. Then I'm going to add in my corned beef. You can pretty much use minced meat or you can chop up your beef yourself. But I like the flavor corned beef gives to my meat pies. I went in with some leftover meat stock. You can use water if you don't have that available. Then I added in my chopped up carrots and Irish potatoes. Then I just added in some seasoning. The seasonings I used are basically curry powder and dry thyme. I didn't add in any more salt or seasoning cubes because the meat stock was really concentrated and really tasty. I'm going to cover this up and wait until the carrots, potatoes and the corned beef are fully cooked. I just went in with my slurry, which will serve as a thickener, which is basically cornstarch mixed with some water, but in the absence of cornstarch you can easily use flour for this. I'm going to add that in and I've added that in and I'm going to mix to combine and allow it to cook for about a minute or two. This is what you want, really moist filling. You don't want it to be too dry because you might not enjoy it, but you can do you. Still watching to this point, then I would love you guys to hit the subscribe button and like this video. Now back to our dough. It has rested enough. I'm going to divide this into 2 equal parts. I'll use one for fish pie and one for meat pie. The fish pie recipe is going to come up in some weeks time. Bear with me please. I'm going to flour my work surface. Then I'm going to begin rolling out the dough, one part of the dough. Remember the fish pie is coming up later on, so I'm not editing that right now. I'm going to flatten this, roll it out, then I'm going to cut it with a round shape. To save time and relieve you of the stress, you want to use a meat pie cutter, but I don't presently have one right now, so I'm just using a round object or a white cup or also a pot cover. You don't want this to be too flat, like when you're rolling it out, I've got to mention you don't want it to be too flat and you don't want it to be too thick. If it is too flat, then it's going to be too crunchy, and if it's too thick, it's going to take time to cook and it might not cook through before it browns. After carefully cutting out the dough into round shapes, then you want to bring the filling from the fridge. It must have cooled down by now. Then you want to add in just bit by bit to each and every dough, rolled out circle dough. Then you want to seal. To seal, I'm going to use a fork and some egg wash. Egg wash is just basically beaten egg, that's all. Or you can as well use water to seal, or you can add some water to the egg wash. Anyone you prefer, do that. Then I'm just going to seal it, use a fork to seal it properly, and that's it. You can as well use a meat pie cutter like I've mentioned earlier on. It saves time and relieves you of the stress. A fun fact about this is that you can just assemble this on the tray, cover it up and place it in the freezer and fry it whenever you want. But long throat did not agree me. I had to fry it immediately. Then in some moderately hot oil, not too hot, not cold, I'm just going to begin dipping it into the oil. not from a far distance, a very very close distance, like my hand was literally touching the oil so that it does not burst open. I fry this for about close to 10 minutes before it's browned. You want to fry on medium heat, exactly medium heat, till it is properly cooked. If the heat is too hot, then it's going to brown too quickly and it won't cook through. But if the heat is too low, I'm sorry, it's going to soak a lot of oil and it won't be nice at all. You also want to ensure you start stirring this at exactly 1 minute 30 seconds so that it can brown evenly, not one side white, not the other side brown evenly. I pair this with nothing actually. You can pair this with any drink of your choice or as a main dish with vegetables by the side. Thanks for watching and see you all in my next one. Don't forget to subscribe.